Hello, beautiful people. My name is Michaela Curtis, and today we will be talking about taking a gap year. Making the decision to take a gap year was not the easiest thing to do for me, since it still was not the most common thing where I'm from, but it's been one of the best educational and financial decisions that I have made for my education. The majority of you have probably heard of a gap year before, but just in case, you should know that a gap year is basically the time that you take between completing one degree and starting another. So some people take this between finishing high school and starting their undergraduate degree or university, or some people take it between finishing university and starting their graduate school. It usually is only 1 year long, hence gap year, but it can very easily and is more commonly being more than that, from 2 to 3 and more, just so that people know that they're prepared and ready for that next step. From the gapyearassociation.org website, linked here, which is not sponsored by the way, they give some great tips and statistics about taking a gap year and how it improves your chances of being accepted into your choice graduate program. Gap years are rather common for students in the UK, Europe, and Australia, but recently they are becoming more popular in the US as well. It's naive of anyone to think that all students will know what they want to do, so taking a gap year is extremely beneficial. From the Gap Year Association, they found that taking a gap year had a significant positive impact on students' academic performance in college, and that in the UK and in the US, students who had taken a gap year were more likely to graduate with higher GPAs than demographically similar individuals who went straight to college. And this effect was seen even for gap year students with lower academic achievement in high school. So, not only will taking a gap year help you take a breather from school and possibly earn some much needed money for your education, but it will also help you find your life passion and help you into doing better in that field as you chase your educational and career goals. Here are a few questions that any individual thinking about taking a gap year should probably ask themselves before continuing their education. 1. Do you feel burnt out? If you already feel depleted, then jumping into another educational milestone may not be the best for you just yet. If you start university or graduate school feeling burnt out, this could lead to major health problems on top of having higher chances that you will give up on your education or not have the right mental and physical health to get through that education with the honors you had hoped for. 2. Do you know what you want to study? This very rarely happens for graduate school, since you are usually specializing in your field by the time you start graduate school. But during your early university years, so many people waste time going to university without knowing what they want to study. It's okay if you don't know everything about yourself yet, but if you don't have a general idea of what you want to study, consider taking a gap year to explore your options and self-reflect. Number 3. Will this degree help you get where you want to be in 10 years? For example, if you don't see yourself happily talking to people every day about their problems, you probably shouldn't get into a major with psych or soc, which is now the most popular major in US colleges. There's nothing wrong with this degree, but there is a problem when majority of the people who got this degree have answered on surveys that they only got it because it was easy. Number 4, how will you pay for university or graduate school? If you have parents that are capable of helping you throughout this process, or you can get a full ride scholarship, then don't worry about this. But the sad thing about today is that not everyone has this privilege. So, before you get yourself into student debt, be sure that you're pursuing a field that you love and that will help you pay off your student debt after graduation. However, if you have any doubts, consider taking a gap year to earn that money and really evaluate which field you want to go into and would love being a part of. Number 5, why do you want to attend university or graduate school? If the answer is something along the lines of, I would disappoint my parents if I didn't go, or I would seem like a loser to my friends if I didn't go, or even my parents are forcing me to go, these are things that maybe you should take a step back and reevaluate why you're going to school just yet. It doesn't really sound like you're very motivated to go, except by other people, and making such a huge educational decision requires a lot of internal motivation, meaning coming from yourself. If If you decide a gap year is right for you, there are more and more formal, organized programs or opportunities specifically structured for students in their gap year. If you have the resources and time, there are some programs that allow you to go with a group of people to another state or even country and spend a significant amount of time volunteering with locals in that area. Just look up gap year travel opportunities online or at the website mentioned earlier. However, if you're like me and don't just have a couple $1,000s lying around to go on one of these organized gap year experiences, thus needing to work during your gap year, this is where you can further tailor your gap year to exactly what you need to do before going back to school. You can work a job, volunteer with an organization in your area of interest, shadow a professional in your field, and so much more. For example, I decided to take a gap year after I completed my BS in biology, and I knew I wanted to gain more research experience to pursue my PhD. So, during my gap year, I found a job as a junior specialist in a molecular biology and biochemistry lab, since that's a field I'd been interested in, but needed more experience in it before deciding I wanted to do that for the rest of my life. Since starting my gap year, I have a whole new perspective on my educational interests. Just from my own experiences and not taking into account all of the statistics on how beneficial taking a gap year has been for thousands of other students worldwide, I strongly recommend you at least consider taking a gap year. It has truly benefited me in my educational pursuits, and I hope that it helps you as well. I wish you all the best with your future educational endeavors, and as always, thanks for watching!